So we will be looking forward to that very, very shortly.
Once again, I believe both teams will be fielding a sentry from both those teams, and that's going to lead to a similar game as how this one played out. I mean, it was very cool seeing UW's sentry work last time. First sentry kill of NA. That's super cool, man. That's on a completely autonomous robot. And let's see if we can possibly get the second sentry kill of NA while both these other teams come out and field their sentries, because that's going to be something that I'm looking forward to, man. I love seeing those sentries work.
You know, I just want to say that NYU Polytech, this is their first year, I believe, competing, and they have done an awesome job coming out here, and they really put on a show for us today. UW, I believe, has been here a little bit longer, so they're showing how an experienced team kind of comes to the court and show off their robots. This next matchup between Virginia Tech and Texas A&M is going to be a fierce one. Virginia Tech has been in RoboMaster scene for around 5 years, I think, and Texas A&M has been in the scene for 3 years. So both of these titans of a university teams are going to show off what they've got here, and they, I believe, are going to be able to field all three robots as well for this match. And they both have heroes, and they both have standards, and they both have sentries.
And that's something we love to see. You know, we love seeing those complete 3v3s, just like we just saw. That was a great match. We don't really know a whole lot, maybe a gentleman's agreement to have a ceasefire in the middle of that match, but the first match was so action-packed. It was amazing. And if we can expect to see that for pretty much every match for the rest of the day, that is going to be something that I'm looking forward to a whole lot. That's so much action, and we're going to be actually going at a quicker pace than we were yesterday, now that we have the robots prepped and ready to go, as they are going to be coming onto the field from the next team as soon as the referees give that okay, and then starting that 1.5 minute ready period to get all those robots on the field, turned on, connected, and reloaded.
Yeah, honestly, it's going a lot faster than it was yesterday. Yesterday was our first day of competitions. We had a lot of technical hiccups that happened. So if you're tuning in for the first time or if you're returning, things should go a little bit more smoothly this day going around, as we have all the referees, all of our talented individuals volunteering to help us out as they are able to sweep up all the balls coming out here in the fields. We really appreciate all of the support of the volunteers that have come here. They're just students from universities, just like us. We're students from a university as well, or an individual team here coming out. And, you know, they've dedicated not only their time and effort to build these robots, but also to help out with setting up the arena, with being a referee, with being an inspector, or being an operations member. So we want to thank everyone out here, and as well as the technical crew, for all of their hard work and all of their dedication for making RoboMasters NA happening.
It is a very thankless job because they are not in front of a camera. They are not, you know, always, we don't have a name for every one of them that we're able to present to you right now, but they all do have a name, and we want to say thank you from everybody on the broadcasting team, from everybody on the staff, everybody from everywhere. We want to thank for helping with this competition. Your efforts are not going unnoticed.
We also have a prediction in chat of whether VT or whether TAMU will win this next best of 2 round. So if you guys have some channel points, put them in chat and vote on who you think will win this next matchup to win some more channel points. And, you know, both me and Matt are from Texas A&M University, so we are especially looking forward to this competition. Someone has asked to do our shout, so hey, whoop! Hey. Yeah, so those are our little wildcats that we do at Texas A&M, but we are super looking forward to this match. We have been able to see all the progress that A&M has done, and we have seen all the awesome robots that Virginia Tech's RoboGrinder team is able to showcase in the previous days, honestly, in the practice matches and in some of the official matches as well.
And we can hopefully get a camera once these robots start entering the arena, as they are finishing up sweeping out all of the projectiles from the arena, because it is very hard to be able to drive whenever the arena is covered with projectiles, as so many rounds are flying in that last match. Those were all over the field, and if you drive over those, you can sometimes get stuck on them. You can sometimes get them in places you don't want them to be, and that's not very good. So cleaning up those projectiles is very important at the end of every match, and that's a whole lot of work to be able to get in there and clean out that entire arena whenever it is completely filled, pretty much like a ball pit.
That's right, Matt. These robots, you gotta remember, they are technological masterpieces that each team has designed and carefully crafted. And, you know, a loose wire or a stray wire or some stray electronics left showing can you know, if they get hit by a pellet, that's a robot taken offline, right? You got to be super careful in protecting everything.
In China, we have actually seen a couple robots have a projectile, straight projectile, ricochet, or maybe sometimes even a direct hit a power button and just shut the thing off. I mean, it kills a kill.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be really careful with these robots. They're literally thousands of dollars into the making here. And, you know, they're technological masterpieces and works to be marveled at, as each team has poured hundreds to thousands of hours into making these a reality.
Especially in the past couple of days, in the last few weeks. We all know it's crunch time whenever the deadline's just about to hit. It is always... everything goes wrong at the last minute. Nothing ever goes wrong in testing. It always goes wrong whenever you put it on the field, whenever you get to the field, whenever you get to the competition. It never goes wrong when you want it to go wrong and when you're trying to get it to go wrong to fix that issue. But
yeah, these teams
so
have
many teams
persevered,
have been tirelessly working.
They have
So many teams
persevered
have been
through all of these technical difficulties and problems that have arisen, not only with the competition itself, but for their individual robots, as they have had ample time to take care and be able to fix anything up that needs fixing. And hopefully we will be able to see the full potential of these teams coming out here, as I know all of these engineers are super duper excited to be able to showcase all of their hard work and dedication and, you know, get these drivers out to pilot these two robots out here on the field. It'll be something really exciting to watch here, as both of the teams are kind of setting up outside of the perimeter of the arena with their heroes and their standards and their sentries, and they're looking to have a little bit of a discussion before the referees give them the call to enter the field and start setting up.
Absolutely, and each one of these robots, every single time before the match starts, have to be inspected for any changes that they made. They have to make sure that they get inspected and are cleared to be able to compete for and obey all the competition rules, obey all the voltage rules, obey all of the different things that have to be met, all the different requirements that have to be met. I mean, like, it's even down to like the small things like the height of your armor panels by a couple millimeters you can be off, and if that's off, they will not pass inspection. So if you change anything about your robot, you got to be very careful that it will be able to pass inspection to be able to be fielded once more, because that's really important. If you can't field it, it's not really good. It's not a full robot, you know?
Yeah, it's you know, it's more than just having a robot that will translate forward, backward, side to side, and be able to shoot pellets. Like, that's kind of the baseline, but every team has to incorporate all of the DJI dev boards and electronics and ESCs and all these little PID boards and things like that into their robots to make them connect to the referee systems that DJI provides to actually interact with this health bar system and the sentries and the bases and all those things like that to be able to properly deal damage to each other. This is not like, you know, like what's the word for it? Like death robots or something like that, where they actually
BattleBots,
where they try to destroy each other. These robots just have turrets attached to them where they try to electronically deal damage to them by hitting their armor plates.
Those armor plates are force sensors. They are, as soon as it gets impacted, actually, if you get a 42mm projectile, hit one of those armor plates, and it does not do enough actual force to be registered as a 42mm projectile, which is a pretty hard thing to do, but that mostly happens for ricochets and things like that. It will only do the 5 damage of a standard projectile. It will not do the full 42. So you got to make sure that you hit them with that force on that plate, because that is the only thing that causes damage to the robots, to the sentry, and to the structure of that base.
Going back to chat here in the Twitch chat, we have a lot of support coming out for VT and for A&M, so let's give our support to them. Thank you guys so much for coming out here. We really appreciate it. These teams are really awesome. These universities are really awesome. It looks like we have about a 50% chance for both these teams to win, and I'm referring to the channel points right now, as chat believes it is 2.2k channel points versus 2.5k.
47 to 53.
Points. Yeah, so it's really close. Chat kind of believes that these teams are pretty evenly matched, and I would happen to agree, you know?
I would as well. This is going to be one really heck of a match to watch, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
It's a little bit of luck, it's a little bit of engineering, it's a little bit of strategy as it comes out here, you know? You know, some things could go wrong, some things could go right, but at the end of the day, it's how well you engineered your robots and what strategies you're going to choose to employ for the competition.
And what doesn't go wrong whenever the heat hits the wall, man, because everything that can go wrong will go wrong at the worst possible time.
That's definitely true here, but once again, I really want to reiterate how much these teams have just encountered so many problems during this competition, but they're just able to keep going, and none of these teams have quit. They have just kept going and said, you know what, here's another wall, we're going to climb it, and we're still going to compete in this competition.
Absolutely. There is no wall that any of these teams will not surmount to be able to compete in this competition.
Yeah, and honestly, this is the first RoboMasters NA competition. We have had lots of RoboMaster competitions in China, but DJI has given us the special opportunity to be able to host here at Texas A&M, and we are very, very grateful for that opportunity. We want to shout out actually our viewers in China, because I believe we are also streaming to Bilibili, and I know we have actually had hundreds of viewers there. So thank you guys if you are tuning in from China. We really appreciate, or if you're just checking out the VODs, we really appreciate you coming out here. And we're happy to give you a taste of the NA scene that is starting out for the first year here.
Also, as a reminder, if you do end up missing any of these matches that you would like to watch and you'd want to see, oh, I just missed that team that I saw on the schedule I missed. I don't know, for example, possibly the next match, which is going to be that is going to be the UCD versus NY Poly. And if you missed that match and you wanted to see any of the matchups on here, we are going to be posting all the matches online to that YouTube channel after, I think it's 2 days after the event. We will be uploading, as when we'll start to be uploading that kind of stuff, and you'll be able to check that out on the YouTube channel. We already have a whole bunch of commentary from the 7v7 if you're just curious on what the full competition, not just the 3v3, but the 7v7 as well looks like. We've also got the English commentary for those matches on the YouTube channel. We've got a whole lot of stuff on that YouTube channel, and we're going to be uploading even more to it once this competition is over.
So yeah, if you want to check out those 7v7s in the central and northern regions of China, go ahead and look in our Twitch VODs for that. If you want to check it out sooner than 2 days, please go check out our VODs on our Twitch channel so you can see yesterday's VODs as well as today that will be posted after the stream ends. And we have just been given the go as all of these teams are immediately running into the gate and they are setting up their robots. VT coming out here with the RoboGrinders, their massive robot here. Their hero is insane. Oh my goodness. I'm just commentating on because I get a nice angle here of getting to look at them as we see the shot of how bulky and big these are. That's got to be like 70 or 80 pounds or something crazy like that. Oh my goodness.
The weight and size of these robots really is very large. You don't really see a whole lot of it. As we were watching the north and central regions, we're like, oh, those robots are, they're decently big. But you get here and you're like, whoa, these things are actually really big. It takes 2 people to lift one of these up. You see it sometimes, and maybe you don't, and you just see the robot on the ground, or you see the robot in the arena, and you kind of just don't get the sense of the scale until you actually see these in person, and you hear those plinks in person. That is terrifying.
It really is. We get some close-ups of the VT's RoboGrinder Sentry here. As we can see, they are filling it up from the backside.
See that hat, that style choice. We always like the flare, the caution tape all around those 2 infantry robots, and that hat as a decorative piece on the top of that hero. Really just putting the style points on.
I believe, do they have 2 turrets on that VT Sentry? I can't actually tell. Oh, no, okay, they don't. I thought they had a top down. They just have a bottom shooter. Still really cool. It's super bulky, and I absolutely love it. But yeah, their hero and their standard. Oh, you're talking about the cap. Yeah, the cap is just a nice piece of flair that they're able to show off with their robots, to show off all their cool stuff. As we see here, going to the A&M side here, we have one of our engineers communicating with the robots from the drivers right now, because the drivers can only see in that first-person viewpoint, so they're not actually able to, communicate other than with like head nods with the gimbal and things like that. And it's really cool. They're gearing up. They put out their hero and their sentry as well, and we'll be starting pretty shortly. We do have a brief technical pause that's coming out here that has been called by one of the sides, just to ensure that all their robots are set up perfectly as much as they can here, so that the first match can be as strong as they want it to.
Absolutely. Having all those robots, that is what we love to see, and having all those robots work flawlessly is also what we love to see. Sometimes it's sad whenever one of those robots just does not decide it wants to work that round, and then they have to go without it at a disadvantage. But it's really great, and what we want to see is just the perfect 3v3 as many times as we can today.
Right, we want to see those the potential of all these robots here. We want to see them working, we want to see them shooting, because that's what brings the epic RoboMasters matches that you get to see here today. And then from an engineering perspective, it goes into a strategy perspective. If you've got a really good sentry, maybe you build your game plan around keeping that sentry alive and being able to shoot the other robots. We do get some flags waved here that I believe are the OKs, as all the engineers have exited the arena. Excuse me.
And this next match is looking like it's just about to start. Also, you can see the tips at the bottom of that loading screen as well, just giving you some heads up about the competition as that referee module is booting up, meaning that we are going to be getting right into this second match of the day. Boy, am I excited. This is going to be a match to watch.
Virginia Tech versus Texas A&M University. Here we go.
There's
Here's the
that
countdown as both robots are going out of the gate. Let's go. Immediately, Virginia Tech immediately storms the center part of the arena here as Texas A&M takes a slower approach using that first barricade. We see an immediate fire from the side of the standard on Virginia Tech here. Coming out, taking massive damage to that standard that is coming out here. We get to see that first-person viewpoint.
That is a first kill of the match.
That's the first kill on that Texas A&M standard, leaving the hero only alive right now. Oh, sorry, the standard alive right now on the side of Texas A&M. So now is a 2v1 here. Hopefully they can revive that hero to get it back online. The standard is doing a little bit of damage.
Sentry was shooting.
Yeah, we have the sentry doing a lot of damage here coming out here. And we can see this first-person view of this hero trying to knock out that standard here.
And that's another kill on that red hero for Texas A&M is down.
Oh, the hero also falls on the side of Virginia Tech, I believe. Oh, but a little bit of friendly fire there coming out there beside of Virginia Tech. Very, very funny stuff to see. But as Virginia Tech comes here to the sentry, it is firing and laying siege onto that sentry turret. I believe they're exchanging shots as best as they can here. A little bit of damage coming out onto that sentry turret. And the standard 3 grabs her on the other side, trying to deal as much damage to that other standard here. The hero is just respawned on the side of Virginia Tech, as well as the other hero on the side of Texas A&M, standing in that repair zone, trying to get as much health as it can here. It wraps around to the center of the map, looking to actually just go for the sentry, but is sniffed out by the standard of VT as being shot as much as it can. It actually, it's down, I believe. It's just been knocked out. The standard of VT has immediately knocked out the hero from the side of Texas A&M. Amazing accuracy coming out from here on the side of Virginia Tech.
3 minutes, 15 seconds. A whole lot can go on in this match, but it looks like it might just be a base kill. This might be the second base kill of the NA competition.
Wow, yeah, we see this standard here coming out right in front of the Texas A&M structure here, as it is just laying siege onto that base. But here comes the standard.
That's another sentry kill.
Wow, absolutely crazy stuff here. We gotta remember those heroes and those standards revive with a minimal amount of health, so any amount of damage will take them out once they do a revive here. You know, it looks like this is a pretty strong match here coming out here. Wow, we have standard 3.
As you can see, that gimbal, whenever that gimbal gets out of control, it is very hard to see what is going on.
Indeed it is. It looks like standard 3 is looking to secure that health regeneration buff here. It might go back. It is looking to damage out that standard that is protecting the red base here. The hero is just revived on the side of Texas A&M. They're looking to secure that health pack and to get back in this competition here. With 2 minutes and looks like 30 seconds or 20 seconds left on the clock here, they're trying their best to get back into this.
Looks like Virginia Tech's hero might be having a little bit of an issue with the gimbal. It looks like it is now recovered from that. Is going to be able to still be able to be a force to be reckoned with, as those 42mm projectiles do a ton of damage to the structure. The standard, or the sentry for the red team, has been knocked offline, leaving that base vulnerable.
Yeah, both teams choose to retreat here and grab some ammunition, grab some repairs from that little repair zone there. And we're going to back here as Virginia Tech comes in with their standard, and they're running in straight to the base, and they are pelting it down. But it looks like standard 3 has fallen down and is out and is died here. Wow, amazing stuff. It is res and is going back to the repair zone here as Texas A&M is pushing them a little bit back here. A brief confrontation here as the Virginia Tech hero is coming to the center of the map. So is the standard here from the side of Virginia Tech, and they're going for the left-right split here. But that hero is actually knocked offline from the side of Virginia Tech.
There is so much going on, it is hard to follow.
And they're trading shots standard to standard. Multi-fire here. It looks like both of them have fallen here. A hero traded for a standard here. Absolutely amazing stuff. Are those all robots offline?
Every
what
robot
exactly
is offline.
happened?
They all traded.
Look at that amazing firefight we have here. Oh my goodness. It looks like standard 3 from the side of Virginia Tech has just revived. The sentry has fired shots
again.
Looks like standard 3 from the side of Texas A&M is trying to defend as best as they can here. The sentry is looking as well as both these robots are coming into the base here. He's trying his best to defend here, to try to trade shots as most they can here. Lots of damage coming out, lots of shots being fired. Who's going to fall first?
Getting melted.
The base is falling inside of Texas A&M. Virginia Tech has said, we're not going to deal with your standard. We're going to shoot your base now. The base is half HP here with 30 seconds left on the clock.
Very good accuracy with very long-range shots on that base. Very rapid fire,
Oh,
too.
with a nice snipe. Virginia Tech's hero takes out Texas A&M's hero. As we see here, both sides are battling fiercely as kills are being traded back and forth here. Absolutely amazing stuff. Firefights are happening so fast here.
This action is hard to follow as there is 7 seconds left. It is looking like it is going to be a very hard match. It is going to be impossible, actually, for Texas A&M to be able to recover with that massive amount of base damage from Virginia Tech on that A&M base. Both sentries being able to fire.
Beautiful competition coming out here for the first match. Absolutely amazing stuff from both sides. Everyone, let's give a round of applause to Virginia Tech and Texas A&M. For an amazing first match from both sides here.
A sweeping blue victory, but it looked like that was just a strategic victory from Virginia Tech as both sentries exchanging blows with the infantry robots. That is something we have not seen yet, and that is something that we are looking forward to keep seeing the rest of this competition.
That was absolutely amazing. That was probably the fiercest competition and match we have gone to commentate
They
for
turned
thus
this
far.
arena into a ball pit with all the ammunition that's on this.
I think at least 3, 4, or 5 kills have been traded. It was really cool stuff to see. We saw Virginia Tech get the early lead there by getting the first kill and dealing a lot of damage to that A&M standard that forced them to retreat. But towards the mid-game, A&M was able to come back and deal a lot of damage and just secure 2 to 3 kills going into the late game there before Virginia Tech was able to storm the base and deal around half of the base HP of Texas A&M. Getting that early sentry kill at the start of the match, I believe, was crucial in the strategy of Virginia Tech in order to decide the outcome of this game.
Absolutely, and the brush on. What do you think A&M needs to do to? I think A&M needs to not be so aggressive. They played a little bit too aggressive. Having an early death, getting killed in a bad spot is really bad, especially when that sentry is looking straight at you. The deadly eyes of the computer are watching, and you're about to get nailed by an autonomous, very accurate robot that will be able to track you even if you're moving. We saw that spin-to-win technology featured by Virginia Tech being a very strong force to be able to deter damage on in a firefight and being able to survive, being able to take a lot more shots because it's just hitting your sides and not your armor plates. That is a game changer that Texas A&M is going to have to be able to account for, not having that capability as we've seen so far.
I agree. They were playing a little bit cautious at first, but it seems they just kind of ran out the gate past that midpoint and started immediately looking for that sentry. But Virginia Tech was able to capitalize that, turning that really into a 2 versus 3 confrontation, which Texas A&M was not able to handle. And as both their robots, well, the hero got down and the standard was able to run away, but that gave the opportunity for Virginia Tech to deal damage to that sentry and eventually take it offline. You know, it's really important, as you can see right now, how the strategies develop. You know, both teams recognize how strong their sentries are. We have not seen these strong of sentries since this point up until today. So both teams are going to take that into account and develop that into their strategies and their game plans for this last second match of the best of 2, coming out here today.
Very well said, my friend. I am so looking forward to seeing both these sentries being able to defend themselves. That is scary. That means A&M, if they can rely on that sentry, that means they might want to play a little bit more defensively, seeing how aggressive VT was out the gate. That is very scary. And whenever they are that accurate, they are that deadly, they got the spin to win. They've got a whole lot of advantages on the A&M team right now. It is going to be interesting to see how the A&M team shakes up that strategy. But both sentries working is something we have not seen, and that is something that I am so hyped about.
I think one thing that we have failed to mention about is the health regeneration buff. So the way that works is that the team needs to stand on it for a certain period of time in order to collect a virtual health pack, which they then can return to the repair zone in order to trigger the health pack's effects to gain a regeneration buff.
And getting that health back really fast is very crucial because you do not want to be out of the action for too long with only a few minutes per match. Right.
That is the only real way to heal other than reviving for a small sliver of health here. So being able to control and dominate that central part of the arena is really crucial. I believe that Texas A&M shouldn't probably have extended into the base and the sentry of Virginia Tech, but fighting over that middle is still a very important feat that you need to be careful of. If you trade a couple of blows, you can always retreat, but at least getting the health pack buff so you can come back and use it later on, even if you lose that initial confrontation, is so important. Because if you push past that midpoint line and you're trying to target the sentry without picking up that health pack buff, you are at an extreme disadvantage as you have to retreat all the way back to your own side of the base, and you're not able to repair your robots.
You're also not able to be pushed around when you're dead. If most of these robots do not have the capability that an engineer in the 7v7 would have, and that would be to drag robots around, and you're not really able to push very effectively without using a whole lot of resource, and I would not want to be getting under that VT turret. That VT sentry is very scary, as we just found out, and so is that A&M sentry, which it's going to be interesting to see if both teams change their strategy, or if VT takes the same winning strategy that they had this time, and if A&M is able to combat that with their own counterattack or counterplay to be able to take the victory. If they want to do that, that's what they got to do. They got to shake it up. They cannot do the same thing, because that did not work.
Something really interesting that we got to see was the hero from the side of the A&M team. It died right under the sentry turret while it was trying to damage Virginia Tech's base, but as soon as it revived, it also got immediately killed by that sentry. I'm really curious to see if A&M maybe will use the back part of that base. If they drive a robot behind Virginia Tech's base, and then they're able to get shots, maybe they're able to avoid that sentry turret's aim of line of fire. Maybe
I don't know. He's turning a whole lot. I don't know if he's got that. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that. You can see that from that camera shot right now that visibility proceeds all the way into the base. So that would be very scary to die all the way back there. That would be almost an irrecoverable state if you're not able to get out of there fast enough. And if you get stuck, if you just can't move, you're just going to be dead the entire time. And that might be a very, very, very risky play depending on how it is executed.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think if the standard is probably just a little small enough to maybe abuse that spot. I haven't seen any team do that as of yet, but that's something I'd be really looking forward to see as a commentator, to see some kind of new strategies play out here. Because I agree, Virginia Tech's sentry is a monster. It is an absolute beast at nailing all of these robots down. It's got an insanely high fire rate, insanely high accuracy rate, and Texas A&M has also got a pretty good sentry too. It was able to secure 1 or 2 kills as well, and yeah. This is a really exciting match that could honestly swing both ways. You know, the engineer on the side of Virginia Tech is a little bit stronger as their robots are a little bit more accurate, but you know, with a little bit of strategy and preparation, Texas A&M could easily also take home the second game, Matt.
Absolutely, and they would take that home and make this match a one-to-one score,
yeah,
if they're able to tie it up right here. They will not proceed into a third match because we are just doing best of 2s currently. Once we get into the semifinals and the finals, we will be doing best of 3, and that's going to be changing.
Yes, because it is a double elimination match, we will get to see Virginia Tech and we will get to see Texas A&M compete later on in the day today. So if you're rooting for these teams, if you're really looking forward to see them, don't wait. I mean, just be patient, because we will be able to see them later tonight when they are able to compete. That goes for all the teams as well. All the teams are able to compete twice today if they pass their inspection, and that's what we have scheduled for the match. If you want to check out the schedule, please go online to TAMU, or no, not TAMU, RoboMaster's NA, the website.
Yes, RoboMaster NA is that website. If we can get a link dropped in chat for that website to be able to see that schedule once more, that would be very nice. Looks like we're going to have a prediction running this time. Who's going to win? Cast your vote in the chat right now for some channel points. See if you want to get it. Looks like it's a very stacked VT-sided victory, which I think it can still swing both ways.
Yeah, I mean, it was a closer match than the other ones we have. So I'm kind of surprised at chat's lenience towards VT. But you know, they showed a strong performance, and you know, chat's kind of swinging a little bit both ways now. Now we kind of have like an 80-20% chance here on chat's leaning. But yeah, this is the fiercest and most competitive match that we have been able to see so far in this day and a half of casting. So if you're just tuning in, this is a match to watch. Yeah, these two teams are super formidable, and they have brought some excellent robots here. This is where you can look at it and be like, oh, I think this robot should have done this. And that is the strategy mind of all these players and all these engineers thinking. It's not just oh, this robot was engineered and it looks better and things like that. No, it's like, what about if you advance your robot here? What about if you pulled back? What about if you did this? What about if you made it a 2-on-1? All these little things that you can think about, even in the small 3v3 arena, are so important here, as they can change the match outcome within literally 30 seconds, right?
I would say it's even more important than a 7v7. In the 7v7, at least you can get pulled out of a bad situation. Here,
yeah,
you just get revived in your sliver of health wherever you left off.
Yeah, dying in a bad location here for these robots basically means death, right? Like we saw, if you die right in front of that sentry turret, there is a really good chance that sentry turret is going to laser you down as soon as you revive. So you guys got to be really careful, or these teams got to be really careful where they position their robots, especially when they're low on HP.
Absolutely well said. That arena's still getting cleaned up. That absolute ball pit by all the projectiles spewed forth from both sides on that last confrontation. That has put our volunteers up with quite a lot of work as they're having to sweep up so many projectiles from this arena.
M. Shibernate asks, when is the next match? The referees are currently cleaning out the 3v3 arena right now. So as soon as they do that, and as soon as we're able to check all the referee systems, that is when the next match will start. It'll be a couple of minutes coming out now in the second of the best-of-2 match.
There will be a 2-minute timer, I believe, once the curtains open for the teams to be able to come in, inspect their robots, make sure everything's working still, and be able to resupply those robots with all the projectiles that they can hold.
Indeed they will. You know, like, we've gotten to see all these robots shoot. That's something that we haven't gotten to see before. Every single robot, the Sentry, Hero, and Standard, fire all their projectiles. And, you know, once you can do that, and once you can move these robots around, it really becomes a competition of engineering and skill and strategy. And I'll be very curious to see how these teams adapt coming into this next round.
Because as we've seen from these first-person point of views, it is pretty hard to be able to aim and shoot and do all that kind of stuff whenever there's a whole lot of variability going on. Your PID system might be glitching just a little bit, might be just jerking up and down a little bit, making it very hard to see and aim and make sure you find out where your projectiles are going.
Right.
But seeing both sentries shoot, man, that is a feat that I'm so happy that we were able to see.
So we've talked a little bit how A&M has some opportunities and maybe some strategy changes to get back into the game. Let's talk a little bit about how Virginia Tech can secure their second win for the day here, Matt. What do you think Virginia Tech needs to do in order to keep their lead going out here?
They've done a very good job of coordinating attacks on one robot. Knocking that one robot offline at first is a very crucial thing. The first robot to die, and if it dies in a bad spot, or if you're able to catch them out, or if you're able to just kill them in a spot where you're able to pin them down, that is very devastating to the team. If Virginia Tech can secure another early kill, just like they did on the hero from the A&M team as the hero rushed out towards the middle, and Virginia Tech already had control with both robots in the middle, that is all they really got to do, is just play pretty much the same way they did. I don't think they got to change up a whole lot of stuff. They'll be able to adapt on the fly if they need to, but that strategy that they had seemed to work pretty well.
Thank you for that analysis, Matt, and I would happen to agree that the numbers game is key for matches like this. You know, they were able to utilize that 3v2 mechanic where they had the Sentry, Hero, and Standard firing on the side of Texas A&M's Hero and Standard, which makes it, you know, 3 projectiles versus 2. You know, you're going to have naturally a harder time unless your robots are built and designed better. And, you know, that's a near impossible feat, honestly, unless, like, one of your robots isn't working or something like that. So, you know, if Virginia Tech is able to keep that, whether it's a 3v2 or whether it's a 2v1 mechanic, and they're able to stack their robots, they should be able to keep that lead pretty consistently throughout here in this next match. Same with the side of Texas A&M. If they're able to utilize that 2v1 mechanic and able to isolate one of Virginia Tech's robots, they should be able to gain a significant lead. You know, and as we've seen, the first 30 seconds of the match are absolutely crucial into determining the outcome of the game. You know, these matches are 5 minutes long once they begin, and an early death or an early failure or an early referee system thing can decide really just how the match swings, honestly. We were very lucky to see both of these teams not have a single referee error coming out in the middle of the match. That is something that we have not seen yet, and I'm super happy that all these teams are just gonna able to be playing their heart out. You know,
absolutely. That's what we love to see. We hate seeing those technical difficulties and stuff like that. And whenever everything works fine, which, you know, sometimes that's a lot to ask for because it's just everything goes wrong, Murphy's Law, you know. But at the same time, whenever everything works, that is what we really love to see. That is what we're here for. We are here to see all 3 robots be able to compete at their peak performance level, and that looks like pretty much what we just saw. Now it just comes down to the strategy. This is now an esport, pretty much.
This is where the esport really shines out of RoboMasters. You know, like we said, it's an engineering competition, but it's also a skill and strategy competition, and this is where you get to see it, you know. If you play one of those like mobile-related video games, like you kind of have your robot characters on one side and the other robot characters on the other side, and you just got to deal with how they're made. As drivers, you know, you can't change anything once they're in the arena. You have some level-up mechanics that we have talked at the start of the stream, but other than that, it's just how do you fight with your other robot ally, with your other pilot, in order to secure the dub here.
Absolutely, and it's all about pilot skill too. And whenever your shots are aimed low, sometimes it's hard to see those projectiles when that camera's shaking around. Whenever you're in the heat of the moment, you got tunnel vision sometimes, and it's hard to figure out, how much you need to account for. And seeing that also, like the difference in accuracy, and that's being the engineering part of this competition, making sure that you're very accurate while also being able to be fast fire rate, or just taking the strategy of taking your projectile speed, being able to shoot your projectiles faster so that way they are more accurate, and then also having to account for the fact that changes during the match, and it's not just always constant, so you kind of get into a groove at the end of the match. You try to have that same groove at the beginning of the next one, and no longer do you have that projectile speed because you're down to level 1.
Indeed, it is. Yeah, that's why early deaths and early kills matter so much in this 3v3 competition. An early death or two will lead to a level deficit between these two robots here. As having a level deficit, getting to level 2 or level 3 allows you to upgrade one of those 4 things: the firing speed, the barrel heat, able to use more chassis power and move faster, and things like that. So these pilots actually, are able to spec into those levels as the match progresses. And I believe the 4th one is health. Yeah,
yes.
The 4th one is health that they can also spec into. That's also a part of the strategy design. These pilots have to not only move around with a first-person camera to be able to see things, but they also have to shoot with that same camera, and they also have to be able to think about at the same time, where's my ally robot? Where are the other 2 robots? Where are they heading for? What is their objective? That's where the esport, that's where the strategy mechanic of RoboMasters comes in. And it's really exciting that we're able to see that really awesome feature of RoboMasters come out in these NA competitions.
Absolutely, and not only are you trying to be able to shoot, but you've also got to be able to dodge. You got to realize when it's time to pull back. You got to realize when it's time to retreat, when it's time to go get some health, when it's time to take that strategic back, go back there, use that med pack that you secured early on the game, if that's what you did. If not, then it's going to take you a bit longer to repair. And just using the different utility of the match, and also just recognizing when you need to do that, communicating that with your partner, that way you're always taking favorable confrontations, or you're minimizing the unfavorable confrontations as much as you possibly can. There's just so much going on, and it's very loud in here. It's very hard to communicate even with somebody sitting next to you. So it is no question as to why sometimes it's kind of hard to communicate. Sometimes it might look like there's a few miscommunications. That is to be expected, because in the heat of the moment, it is so hard to be able to drive these robots to the maximum efficiency that you possibly can.
I have just got word here that we are starting up pretty soon here, as all the robots are fielded and are turned on right now. So we'll be starting very, very soon here, as we are going in.
You're looking at that loading screen. That loading screen is actually booting
awesome.
up.
So we are really excited.
We go.
We got a lot of viewers here. We got a lot of audience members here. Everyone's super hyped for this match.
Absolutely hyped.
VT versus Texas A&M. Let's go.
Here's that countdown.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. And here we go. The match starts. Both robots for both teams are flying out of the gates here, ready to reclaim this second match here. Virginia Tech takes the central portion of the arena here and is storming really far here. Texas A&M taking a defensive approach to try to protect their century as much as they can here. Utilizing that first barrier really perfectly to be able to defend against them. Standard 3
being employed
comes
once
here,
again.
grabs into the health buff, is able to secure that before retreating really briefly. Here we go. Standard 3 also retrieves that health pack on the side of Virginia Tech. It looks like they are stacking now, able to apply pressure on that left side of the battle here. Both robots are coming in, looking to damage that sentry as well here. The sentry fires out and is firing at that blue sentry standard here. A little bit of damage plinks out there. So that is about the range of the sentry turret on the heroes. Here we go here, as there is lots of shots traded here. Standard 3 on the side of A&M is looking to exchange some damage here. Both teams are playing very cautiously. They have gotten to see firsthand the power of both of the teams that have come out here, and they are just having tons of respect here.
Also seeing how devastating. There's that, that's some barrel overheat on one of the things. You can see that red barrel. That is the barrel overheat as it is cooling down and being ready to fire again after it is overheated. You can see that there's a bunch of damage taken so far on that.
Oh, it looks like we have the hero on the side of Texas A&M down, and looks like we have the standard on the side of the Virginia Tech down as well here.
5 HP on that hero, actually.
Oh my goodness.
And there it goes.
Here we have some exchanges. The red hero is coming around, chilling some damage here. Both Virginia Tech robots are opting to look at the left side here as they're trying to take down that sentry turret on the side of Texas A&M. They're dealing around half damage
down to about
here.
half health. That is a melt bar.
Oh my god, the excellent accuracy coming out here from the Virginia Tech standard here, dealing lots of damage to that sentry turret. They have just refilled the blue hero here coming out here, and it looks like
their hero is dead once again as the Virginia Tech is trying to take out that sentry as fast as possible. The health is dropping very fast on that, and that is about to take that sentry completely out of commission.
Ooh, amazing work here from the side of Virginia Tech. Able to delete that sentry turret very fast here. That standard is really strong. And it looks like we have a 2v1 confrontation here, looking for that kill on the Virginia Tech standard. The blue hero has got just a sliver of health here. It is trying its best to survive and to look for some damage here. This is really tight stuff here, Matt. It looks like Texas A&M is playing a little bit on the defensive side. The red hero is looking for some ammo here as we get to see this awesome shot here of someone putting in the ammo here onto the bat.
Looks like they're going to go back out, right back into that confrontation. Red Hero's going to be trying to get a little bit of his health back if he possibly can. He might want to be careful, though, because he might be about to get hit by that Virginia Tech hero that we know is very accurate.
We see some shots exchanged here by each of the heroes in each of the standards. As you can see from our perspective of the red hero here, looking to exchange damage with the enemy hero here coming out here from the side of Virginia Tech. Lots of damage coming out from the side of this sentry turret, dealing a little bit of damage to the side of Virginia Tech standard here. What else is going on here?
That's a kill again.
Ooh, wow. Nice trades coming out here from both sides here.
Blue Standard 3 has fallen.
He certainly has. It is reviving in the center of the map right now next to that regeneration buff. Both teams here playing really patiently, looking for the other team to make a mistake here, as both of them are just having a little friendly handshake as they're just looking at the side of the map here.
Here's the perspective of that Virginia Tech hero, very tall off the ground, looking like it's going to be another kill on the blue standard 3 from the red standard 3.
Wow, amazing stuff here. I believe that was that sentry that picked up the kill there. So awesome work being able to narrow down.
The TAMU robot has barely any health left. It looks like it's only 1 or 2 shots from that standard.
Wow, yeah. So, yeah, Virginia Tech is going to look, their standard is going to look to try to finish that off here as the hero and the standard are looking back around to try to deal with that.
Once again, blue standard 3 has fallen. Looks like that might be the opportunity for red to be able to push this base and be able to even out this game.
Red hero is going to the sentry turret of the side of VT and is looking to deal damage here as it is coming around the right side here. It's looking for an attack position here. Standard 3 also going to the center buff here, trying to secure that buff. Yeah, there's a lot of commotion coming out here, and it looks like the hero has fallen for the side of VT.
That is the blue standard 3. That is gone in the middle of the map to the red standard 3. That's going to put the red standard 3 at level 3 as well as the hero at level 3 for TAMU.
It looks like both turrets.
17 seconds left.
17 seconds here as both turrets on the side of Texas A&M are looking to try to deal damage to that sentry turret. Oh, but it looks like the standard 3 is having a ball problem as it cannot shoot its balls out of its thing. They're slowly rolling out. That is so unfortunate. It has the angle here, but it cannot fire a shot. But here it comes.
That's going to be a VT victory once again. Very good job to VT.
Very good job indeed. An excellent last play by the side of Texas A&M's hero to try to wrap around the base to try to deal some last bit of damage. But excellent job by both teams here coming out, putting on some amazing shows here, and showcasing how awesome their robots are, man.
Absolutely. That was an action-packed display right there. Very good job to VT, taking the bag, getting that 2-0 victory on TAMU RoboMasters. What a game. What a game indeed. We saw sentries firing once again on either side. That is something that I just find so impressive. I love seeing those sentries work. That was a high kill game, high octane match, so much confrontation, and that's going to be probably back to the drawing board for the strategy on the TAMU team to try to figure out what went wrong, how to fix it, and what they need to do differently the next time.
So we are going to have a 30-minute break coming up here, and after that we will be rejoining you guys at the stream with a University of Washington versus UCSD.
Once again, another game to watch. I'm looking forward to that game. I cannot wait to see what the rest of today has in store from the action-packed first 2 matches that we have had today.
You know, some analysis on that game, we were able to see TAMU's sentry turret doing a lot more damage and showcasing a lot more of its strategy coming out here. And we saw a lot more patience on the sides of A&M. Excuse me. Looking out to secure the central buff a little bit stronger and to use their ammo more wisely. and to choose their pushes more wisely as well, because there was a vast difference of performance coming out from the side of A&M from that first game to that second game.
Absolutely. Watching that Hero's turret move around not that accurately on the side of the TAMU or RoboMasters, that's going to be a big problem that they are going to want to have to fix, because even though VT had a little bit of a problem with their hero in the first part, they got that totally resolved by the second half, and they had no problems doing damage with that hero.
It's true, yeah, and I really like that last push that A&M did at the very end there with the last 30 seconds. It was really unfortunate because the hero wasn't able to really shoot up and deal enough damage to that sentry turret or something like that. It wasn't able to fire correctly, and the standard in the center of the map, it had such a good angle peeking in and around that second barrier next to the blue sentry, but unfortunately, it was either something wrong with the actuator or with the flywheels, because the balls were just slowly slipping and dripping out of the muzzle and the barrel of that A&M standard. So hopefully they will be able to go back to the drawing board and fix up that standard. And yeah, so that is some brief analysis of that amazing Best of 2 series that went 2-0 to the side of Virginia Tech. So awesome job to Virginia Tech for taking that Best of 2, and awesome job to A&M for showcasing us some amazing robots.
Absolutely, and we are looking forward to the next match, but first we are going to be playing our promotional content for all the universities and for DJI. So we will be moving right into that very briefly, and that's going to be what we're doing as we step into this break, and we are going to be cleaning up this arena, making sure everything is perfectly fine-tuned for these next couple matches that are going to be probably even more, if not as action-packed as we've already seen today.
So we will see you guys after this short 30-minute break. In the meantime, please enjoy some of the promotional videos from DJI and our accompanying universities at this competition. Thank you all so much.